Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Season 7 of the Collegiate iRacing League. I'm Matthew Nordberg. Joining me up in the booth tonight, Andrew McCall and Jordan Brooks for the inaugural CiL Short Track Showdown race here at USA International Speedway 4, the Clash for this season. It's going to be a fantastic race. Looking at the weather real quick, about 76 degrees Fahrenheit, 25% humidity, partly cloudy, and 2-mile-per-hour winds. This is the Clash exhibition race to get these drivers used to the field. Jordan, Andrew, you guys excited for the new season?
Oh yeah, you gotta be. It's just such an exciting time, and great to have this new series running now with the short track super late models here. It's just such a great series, great car, a lot of fun to drive, and a lot of fun. I know the drivers are gonna have a lot of fun this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really great race tonight. And Matthew, thank you for the introduction. This is going to be my first time in the broadcast booth tonight, so I'm really excited for the opportunity. But I agree. I think we're going to have a great race on our hands. I was able to take a few laps out on the track earlier during practice, and I thought you're going to have to be really careful on the throttle as you exit the corner. So I think a lot of this race is going to come down to car control. And of course, you're not allowed to use tires in this series, so a lot of it will come down to your tire management toward the end of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Jordan.
No, I'll go right ahead.
I was going to mention, you make a great point that some of these drivers who might be used to oval racing and other series such as the Xfinity or the Cup cars here on iRacing, they might, have strategy in mind or tire choice, but here in short track racing, it's all pedal to the metal, no tires, just you got to be smart with it, but you also have to be quick at the same time.
Yeah, a lot of tire management happening here. It's a lot more of a mental game. You got to keep that strong to keep the tires in check. Never want to burn them out right at the race, pushing away too hard, and that'll catch you right up at the end.
Yeah, that's.
Go ahead.
I was going to mention you make some great points, but as we have qualifying finishing up here at USA International Speedway, I was just going to break down the format for tonight. Tonight it is the inaugural short track season, so the session tonight, the top 12 from qualifying are going to automatically advance to tonight's featured race, 100 laps here at USA International. Quickly followed, beforehand though, you got to make sure your last chance qualifier is always a staple of short track racing. So if you aren't in the top 12, then you're gonna have a 25 lap last chance qualifier for these drivers to make sure they make it into the field tonight. 20 drivers in the field overall, but gonna be looking forward to some great racing tonight.
Yeah, I think that LCQ is going to be really intense, even though you may only have 8 drivers, but you're fighting for those last spots, and it's going to be really intense. You always want to find yourself a better track position as you get into the feature.
Indeed, the track position very, very important. You always want to just be as far up as you can. Never want to start it way back at the back. And some drivers might keep it out of some of the silly stuff that might happen into turn 1 here. As the drivers are starting to get lined up on the grid here. Starting out here at pole position, we've got Timothy Wilms starting out with pole position here for our our last chance qualifier. And then right beside him, we got Matt Swekic right beside him. Andrew Burwell starting third. Matt Tucker in fourth. P5, we've got Matthew Nordberg. And then Nick Stockner is going to be lining up in P8. Richard White, P9. And Alexander Hogarth in rounding up the back of the field here, heading into the into this race.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what Matthew Tucker does here. He's a guy who's got Legends car experience. I wonder how much of that will carry over to the race tonight.
I was just waiting for everybody to get lined up here on the grid here right before. Just got a couple minutes here as the Last couple of cars join up. Looks like we only got 4 lined up on our grid right now. 4 of our 8 cars here. So we're waiting for our last 4 to join right up.
So while we're waiting for the pace laps to resume, do you have any details on how this series sort of started up? Because this is the debut series, the debut race for the Short Track Showdown. It's a new 3rd series that the Collegiate iRacing League is putting on.
Yeah, I don't have too much information on that. I believe Andrew would have anything on that.
I think one of the most interesting parts of this new series is that it's going to be students only, and that's honestly a big reason why I was able to broadcast for something like this, because I'm full-time in the Collegiate Cup Series. But I think this will be a really good opportunity for students to kind of showcase their skills by themselves. It also gives, platform for their schools to kind of show off as well, especially those with the established esports teams that are actually sanctioned by the university.
Yeah, indeed. These student drivers, like you said, all student drivers here tonight, and for this entire series. It's our student showdown series here, and it's going to be perfect for these drivers to really start to show off their skills. Good advertisement for these universities and colleges as well, to get their name out there, get their name seen, and start maybe recruiting people off of that name being seen around, especially in esports. I know a lot more colleges are starting to advertise their esports programs. They're just big. And here we are, green flag in the air. And the 25 of Matt Stwecki taking off here. Timothy Wilms right up the inside, and he's going to take the lead through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Wilms had that preferred line on the inside. It's gotten him a really good launch off turn 2. 25 of Stwecki had a really good launch coming off the start, but when you're stuck in that high lane, it's just really hard to turn the corner.
Yeah, that high lane really not that useful here, especially on those restarts. As the 17 gets into the wall there, we keep green though, as we got Max Stwecki up here in front of Alexander Hogarth. Oh, and there we go. First spin of the night, and no fast repairs here in this series.
Still green.
Still green. He gets it rolling again here on the front straight.
He's got a lot of damage though. I think it's gonna be a struggle the rest of his time.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be very careful as the field's starting to catch him here, coming right around.
Yeah, Wilms is just now coming off turn 2.
The leader's right on his tail. We'll see if he's able to stick in it and stay out of their way. You never want to, as that car down, especially with damage, get in the way of the leaders here.
Still, he's driving it pretty well though. Maybe
honestly,
all that damage is pretty just cosmetic.
Yeah, hopefully. There's a big damage to the front of that car, completely jacked up. Seems to be driving pretty straight though.
Meanwhile, we got a bit of a close battle for the lead here between Wilms and Stwecki.
Indeed. Looks like, yeah, Stwecki really working his way up, trying to find an opening on Wilms here, working their way around.
Yeah, he's really diving it in there on the entry of the corner and sticking it around that yellow line. Meanwhile, Wilms has a little bit of room between himself and the yellow line, maybe a quarter of a car width.
And we're down to 14 laps to go here, with what looks to be 9 minutes left on the clock there. 14 laps, 13 laps now. Time's counting down. You don't have a whole lot of time in this race. You can't sit back and wait for your perfect opportunity. You're just going to have to, at some point, dive in and take that opportunity. Any opportunity that's given to you here. Stwecki still can't quite find his way up to catch up to the 86 of Timothy Wilms. He's been leading this race pretty much start.
He's just kind of stuck there about a car length back. Wonder if maybe Wilms is just taking his line, not letting him have any room there. Maybe the influence of dirty air is coming into play as well. But Wilms just missed the corner right at the exit of 4.
Yeah, missing that corner, not staying right down on the bottom like you want to be doing. For Wilms, can't be making too many of those mistakes. Stoecki will catching right up to him. He misses the bottom again, coming out of 4. Struggling in 3 and 4 there. Stoecki catching him. Oh, he took a look. He took a look into 1 and 2.
I wonder if Wilms is trying to hold on to that second line in 3 and 4 and trying to get a nicer launch onto the straightaway.
Doesn't seem to be working too well if that's what he's working on, because Stoecki's been catching him down that front straight every time he's tried it. Can't think that strategy coming in, but quite possibly Stoecki has closed it right up here. So we're crossing line for 10 to go.
Now what Stoecki is doing, he's doing a really good job of just really hooking the bottom, and you can even see a little bit of his cars on the apron. It might be helping him rotate through the center.
Yeah, indeed. As he's getting a good run here. It's just so hard to get if you're not side by side into the corner, to get anything going. But like you said, using that apron, turning the car a little bit better, getting a little bit of a better run out of each corner, as Wilms missing the bottom just by a little bit again. Right at the bottom there, every inch matters. You want to be right taped down to that yellow line. So you see Stoecki doing
really closed up on him.
Seems to be really struggling to get past, get alongside at least. Just putting the pressure on, possibly just waiting for a mistake out of Wilms, even bigger one as it seems to, and he goes for it.
And he's
putting the nose in, forcing Wilms off the bottom.
I wonder if lap traffic might play a factor into this as well, because Andrew Burrell, that 17 car, he's only about a corner in front of the leaders right now. Not sure if they're going to catch him before the end of this LCQ, though.
Yeah, it's we're counting down the laps down to 9 to go here, as Stoecki is still putting on this big pressure onto Wilms. Wilms just got to keep your composure here. You can't miss any more corners. Stay right down on the edge of that yellow line. Out of 3 and 4, especially as they cross the line here. 8 to go.
Both these drivers doing a nice job, not making any mistakes. Wilms has just not given Stoecki an opening here. He's looking.
Looking. Nothing going though. Just a little bit too far back. Really get
a little bit of the apron, lost a lot of momentum there.
Yeah, and there it is. He's losing about nearly half a second out of that corner. Just falling back, and you might have to think that might be the race there if he's unable to climb that back.
We're coming to 2 to go. I think it's going to be tough.
Indeed, we are down to 2 to go here. Lap 19 starting up. So we're coming around turns 1 and 2, and yeah, I don't think.
He tagged the wall.
Pushing so hard, pushing it maybe a little too hard, looking for any extra speed. Seeing him wiggle out of that corner. Pushing him
there.
Gaining some time back. He's gained a couple extra tenths here.
Just a little bit. He's really using up the track on the exit of the corner. He's right there. Maybe one last move's in the cards.
Oh, and there we are.
There you go. A nice drive from Timothy Wilms.
Yeah.
To hold off Matt Stoecki in the 25.
Sustaining the pressure, honestly. Matt Stoecki pushing him nearly around the track for 5 or 6 laps in a row there, but just not able to get the move done.
Yeah, I think it's really useful track time for all these guys. Now, we didn't have more than 8 guys in this LCQ, so everybody advances, but we're going to have a little bit of a warm-up session before we get to the feature. So I guess, who are the guys to watch tonight? I would say you want to look out for Athena Leclerc. She's got a lot of skill at every track she goes to, driving for St. Clair. Andrew Williams is someone to look out for. Zachary DeWale was dominant in the College Cup Series last year and won the title, in fact.
Yeah, just Zachary DeWale, like you were saying, incredible in the Cup Series last season. It would surprise me greatly if we don't see him up in the top 5, if not the podium today. Lots of pressure on him. He's shown that he's good enough to be up there. The new name of Ethan Johnson here today in the 51 car. He fastest time in practice today, and he was just speeding by. Drivers were talking about it. He was really, really quick here. He's starting P1 as well.
That's really impressive.
He's quick, so he's really someone to keep an eye on. Connor Levy setting the second fastest time. No, he was not one of those drivers that put in a ton of practice, but setting a quick time, P2. That's definitely another person to keep an eye on.
Yeah, your qualifying lap's going to put you in a really good position here, but at the end of the day, it's all about whether you can manage the whole full 100 lap feature.
Yeah, 100 laps, lots and lots of racing, and lots of chances for mistake. This car very loose out of the corners, as we saw in the in our LCQ there, coming out of 3 and 4. Andrew Burrell spinning it into just a self spin down the front straight. It wouldn't surprise me to see a couple more of those coming up, especially as early in the race as drivers are pushing for position early.
Yeah, that problem is only going to get worse too. You got 100 laps, no tire changes. Everybody's just going to be hanging on by the end of this thing.
Yeah, like you. Oh, that's a big one. No tire changes for 100 laps. It's a lot of tire degradation from start to finish. So you just got to keep up with it. Got to work the car as it changes. Find maybe a line changes or two throughout the race. Maybe not sticking right to that bottom line as the tire wear starts to come in. Keep a little more speed in the car so you don't push as hard out of the corners, but that tire wear is going to be really, really hard on these drivers, especially coming to the end of the straights.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, as the track rubbers in, are we going to see a second groove develop? A second viable groove at least? Because you're just bottom feeding in that LCQ, especially as the tires wear, are there going to be opportunities for guys to make passes and to go where other people aren't?
Yeah, that's a big one, is looking for that second groove for overtakes. Didn't see any happen in our LCQ with just the 4 cars in that race. But it's going to be tough to overtake, so you're going to need to every corner exit needs to be on point for these drivers if they want to make any chance at an overtake. So it's just clearly shown that it's such a tough track to make overtakes on. It's very, very one lane, so I know these drivers are going to be putting in a lot of work here as we've come into the final minute of our warm-up here.
Yeah, that begs the question, how aggressive do you dare be, especially on the old tires? How far in do you want to break into the corner? When you want to get on the throttle through the middle and the exit, it's just going to be, it's going to be a strategy game just with your feet.
Yeah, it's going to be a fatiguing race for these drivers as well. Lots of braking and accelerating. Very easy to mess up once or twice. And with no fast repair, one bad mistake and your race is over. So these drivers are going to have to be on point from start to finish here. So it looks like our warm-up's just about to come to an end here as we get final seconds before our drivers start to take the grid. Here we go. Drivers starting to set up on the grid as for our feature race here tonight of the short track showdown clash race before our season really gets underway in a couple of weeks. Starting us out in pole position for this race is 51 of Ethan Johnson. It's a late entry to this race, so he's in that full black car of the 51. Right beside him is on the outside is Connor Levy. Connor Levy is a name that has been around CiL for a good bit now. Good race, racing in the Cup Series a lot over the last season. P4, Thomas Toomey, lining up next to the 02 of Zachary DeWale. And big person to keep an eye on. Zachary was really, really quick in the Cup Series, lining up in the fourth position here. Jason Wallet lining up P5 alongside Athena Leclerc, who's going to be right behind her teammate of Zachary. That's of DeWale. So this is going to be wonder if any team play comes into this.
No, I'm sure it will. Looks like got two St. Clair cars starting right next to each other, or should I say front to back, rows 2 and 3. Yeah, I think they give each other a little bit of extra space, especially early on.
Yeah, very, very cautious into turn 1 these drivers are going to be. So we're getting set to go to green here, coming through 3 and 4. Pace car about to take a peel off. Sorry about that. We got one more lap here of this as we are going around one last time. Austin DeLong going to be lining up in P7 here. Andrew Williams going to be P8. Ryan Wiltlock P9. Josh Comfer for P9. Jordan Ricky P10. And Sterling Rillesley, sorry, going to be lining up in P12 here as the pace car takes us through 3 and 4, getting ready to go green here for the opening race. And the green flag's in the air, and big
4 wide.
And we're 4 wide into turn 1, and we've got a spin. The yellow flag is out. Didn't even make it to turn 1 before we had major car contact there. Can't say I'm too surprised by that one there.
Just illustrates how hard these cars are to handle, especially on cold tires.
Cold tires wouldn't surprise me if that caught out some of our drivers here early on, as just seeing the drivers just come straight down the track right on that restart. Wonder if it's wheel spin getting into the on that restart.
I mean, if there's any time to work out the kinks, now's the time. It's a non-points race.
Yeah, and that's a very good point here as we end up here under caution very early on. This is going to be the host place of our first race as well. Here, as this is just our Clash preseason, a little bit of a warm-up race for these drivers. Figure out the cars, figure out the track a little bit, get to know how everybody drives, and how the series functions as a whole. So it's going to be a bit of a shakedown here tonight for some of these drivers, but never want to see this the caution out so early.
Like Jason Wallow was given an EOL penalty for that incident. So he will be going to the end of the longest line for this upcoming restart.
Yeah, that end of line penalty coming in every time you are deemed at fault for an accident or a caution coming out on the race series. That's also going to be his first strike of the night, as he was put at fault from our race control here tonight. Saw in that
Do we have a replay of this incident? I wonder what happened.
Alrighty. Here we are as they come to the green flag.
Yeah, Levy gets real squirrely at the start. Wallet just goes 4 wide underneath Leclerc. Then he just comes down just a little bit on the 14 of Levy. Collects the 23 of Andrew Williams. Just really unfortunate for Williams.
Yeah, you just catch up in a crash to no fault of your own. It's just unfortunate. It's a story of oval racing, especially short track, where you have caution or wrecks happening. You have nowhere to go.
That's a real close quarters here at USA. Not much of an infield either. You got a little bit of grass on the inside of the track, but just not much place to go if you have an incident.
Yeah, indeed, and that incident, the 4 wide, I'm surprised even 4 cars fit. You could even fit 4 cars side by side on the entry of turn 1. I was never gonna work out. The lights are out here on our safety or a pace car here. So you're getting set to go back. Green flag racing here. Green flags in the air and cars accelerated.
Already a much better restart.
Dude.
It's like Ethan Johnson firmly in control of that one, but Toomey slots himself into second.
Yeah, very, very. I wonder if the driver's taking it a little more cautiously there, compared to the last restart. No one wanting their night to end too early here, as there's no quick repairs for these guys. So it's really one mistake, one crash of, even if it's not your fault, could be your night over. You got side by side action here, pack of 4 right at the back. Such good racing as we're seeing cars able to stay side by side here. Can't quite tell. That's the 17 of Andrew Burrell on the outside, sticking with it. He got caught up. Got caught up in that in that self spin.
He's in the gray. That'll cost him.
Yeah, and there he is. He's shuffled to the back there. Jason Wallet. Yeah, you always want to find those when you're at the back. Find those faster guys. Stick with them. Let them just follow them through some of this traffic here, as it always helps to have a teammate or someone to, not even teammate, just someone to work with as you make your way through this field here. As we've seen, it's very difficult to overtake.
Yeah, it looks. Ooh, someone got really squirrely off 4, but I know that restart or that initial start definitely put the whole field on notice. These cars are going to be really tough to handle.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the. Oh, look how tight they are. Ooh, 1, 3, and 4. Sorry. The 81. Whoa.
The 81, he's going to go around.
It keeps it clean off the wall.
Wow.
Ryan Whitlock. That was code brown moment if I've ever seen one. Very sideways, able to keep it off the wall.
Yeah, Ryan Whitlock's definitely not going to be happy with that move. I'm sure he'll remember that one. Everybody says racers have the memories of elephants.
Yeah, they're not quick to forget incidents where they are wrong, and very often take their own course of action to make it feel right. It's the 14 getting very deep into that corner there.
And the 9 car almost hit the 81 of Whitlock as well. Had to go way high in turns 3 and 4.
We're starting to get some single file racing here. So everyone's sorting themselves out, kind of waiting for an opportunity now. The longer race, no one really wanting to push their tires too hard here early on, as no chance to change them. These are your tires till the end. So Whitlock catching up to Comfer here. See if he takes a little bit of revenge. So that 10 car runs a little deep. He's gonna get a run here, Whitlock.
Opening.
Whoa!
So close.
Oh, definitely helped him out wide there. A little bit
about that entry.
Yeah, gotta leave the room. All the time you have to leave the room when you're racing. But yeah, Whitlock making things right in his own mind there. You gotta think, as he was just able to almost just push his way past the 10 of Josh Comfer.
I like this 6-car pack we got going here. Sure, there'll be a little bit of movement, maybe a little bit of contact.
Yeah, this pack here, P6 all the way down to, what's that, P12 in a big pack here. So we've got, wouldn't surprise me if we've got some more moves to be made shortly. Everybody, like I said, keeping their tires. That's always got to be in the back of these drivers' minds, is you can't push too hard. Tires got to last.
Yeah, Whitlock here in sixth, is about 3 seconds behind the 22 of Austin DeLong. I guess the question is Austin DeLong using up his tires, trying to build a gap? Is Whitlock saving a little bit? Will they kind of come back together later in the race?
Yeah, it's that top group in general, the top 5 that have really pulled a bit of a gap here. It's 3 to 5 of their own little group up at the front. And but you gotta wonder if they're working their tires just a little bit more, pushing a little bit harder, trying to build that gap, if that's gonna come back to bite them towards the end of this race.
Still battling pretty hard up in 7th. Comfort just trying to hold on to that 7th spot against the 25 of Matt Stawecki. Had a great showing in the LCQ, and now he's moved all the way up to the top 10 in the feature.
Yeah, Stawecki really working hard here tonight. He was chasing down, he was chasing the whole LCQ, and now he's on the chase again here, looking for Josh Comfer. Trying to get, as Comfer misses the bottom again, he's done that a couple of times. Stawecki just unable to get his nose in. Just needing a slightly bigger opportunity, perhaps. Even just a little bit better timing for him. Really stick his nose in.
Yeah, we're only about 20% of the way in. Can't be too aggressive here.
Yeah, that as well. Not only tires, since you'd never wanna be the reason that your night ends or you end someone else's night just by an over-aggressive move too early. As Comfort comes way up the track here, Stawecki
getting his hand moving.
Yeah, working this car's hard on the exit. Lots of very, very loose on exit, these cars. Very hard to control. It's very good. This driver's doing a very good job to keep it clean, keep us green here from our first lap incident. We stayed green.
Yeah, that exit is definitely where the super late model gets real loose and real light off the corner. You saw the 10 get a little squirrely there. That's right there.
Getting right up to that wall, trying to keep the car clean for the most part. Gotta think how long till one of these drivers just pushes a little too hard out of a corner, makes a little push too hard into a corner. One small mistake, you're always driving these cars right on the knife's edge, especially on these corner exits.
And it only takes just a little bit of an error, just a little bit too soon throttle application, a little bit too much steering input. You could quickly see the wrong end of the racetrack.
So we've seen this pack that we saw earlier, this 6-car pack kind of splitting up now behind the 14 of Andrew Williams. Or sorry, that was Sterling Rilsley as he makes the overtake attempt, on Stowecki here, sending it a little too deep into that corner.
Yeah, but at least it shot up his exit so he could get a run down the straightaway. Oh, that might have, looks like that just kind of evened out the gap there.
Yeah, that worked out surprisingly well for him for what could have been a very unfortunate situation where he lost a bunch of time. He was able to keep it in. Rilsley really pushing hard here into these corners. There's Whitlock starting to drive away from these three here. Leaving the 10 there and just pushing away from them. Looking to catch up to that front group a little farther up the track.
Well, Ethan Johnson's holding pretty steady with about a 1.2 second lead over the 18 of Thomas Toomey.
Yeah, the front's been pretty set for most of this race. We haven't had a whole lot of action at the front of this field here today, as the top two really took off at the start of that race. Ethan Johnson and Thomas Toomey just pulling a couple of seconds on third place of Zachary DeWale, who's right next to his teammate of Athena Leclerc who's in fourth place here, as they're working a little bit together, as we've got side by side here into turn one. The 10 on the outside of Comfort, Matt Stowecki finally making that move. Looking to get past.
Being clear. Oh, that's really close on the back straightaway.
Comfort really getting that run off the corner. Stowecki just not able to clear him on the exits of 3 and 4.
This might be where the second groove might be starting to come in. Comfort holding on for his life, but now it looks like Stowecki finally clears and almost opened the door for Sterling Rilsley.
Rilsley, taking a look there, not going for it, but it was would have been a very opportunistic move, trying to make something work. He's just gonna stick behind the 10 of Comfort now. The
leader, Ethan Johnson, has just passed his first lap car, the 17 of Burrell, now a lap down.
Yeah, really cruising here tonight. Ethan Johnson he's got his lead and he's just cruising his way here, and he's got to be hoping that he's not working his tires too much. You never want to push too hard here at the start and just run out of tires towards the end, as we're just 35 laps out of 100 into this race. It's very easy.
Hey, he's looking really good so far. All his inputs are pretty smooth, and he's got a nice gradual exit up off the corner. I think that's going to help him in the long run.
Yeah, he's really, really gentle on the car here tonight. Just part of the reason why he's been running so smooth as fast, and he's showing that tonight as the Hogarth, 20 of Hogarth
really had a hard time getting out of the way, just tagged the wall a little bit.
Well, hopefully he doesn't have too much damage from that. It's like he's all good there on his own. As he's the third of the 3 St. Clair College cars racing here tonight. Third and fourth for the other 2 of Zachary DeWale and Athena Leclerc. They're working their way up, sitting about 2.5 seconds back of Thomas Toomey here, as they are working their way together, not fighting too hard, maybe waiting for those tires to fall off of the leaders ahead and just hoping for something to happen. Even just waiting out for a yellow flag. So we stayed green here now for 39 lap or 38 laps. Just the yellow flag on lap 1. Very
Whale, really wants to get by that 17.
can't blame 17's literally got to stay out of his way here. Ooh, he's gonna race him pretty hard.
Yeah, the 17 has the right to hold his line and just be predictable. The Whale's just got to find a way by him, but it's going to be hard if the 17 takes that lower line, but looks like he's gotten underneath now.
I'm sure DeWale hopefully opening that door for his teammate to make it through as well. So it looks like with
Tina's going to get through too.
Tina's gonna get on that inside there and just work through. That lost them nearly half a second there through that couple of laps behind Andrew Burrell up the 17 there. It's his right to take that bottom line. He's just got to be predictable. The faster car has to make their way around. And they took their time, but they finally got it. It's like Jason Wallet defending here a little bit, or on the attack here of Andrew Williams. Wallet was the end of line penalty coming at the start of this race. He caused that first yellow flag. It's really starting to work his way back up though. Just here down in P11, working for P10.
It's been a tough road for him though. That the line penalty really cost him a lot. That he's only been able to make up 5 positions ever since the restart.
Yeah, starting in 5th, now down to 11th because of that end of line penalties. Pushing Andrew Williams through 3 and 4. He's gonna send it in pretty deep here onto the marbles a little bit. It's not gonna work out for him. He's just looking for an opportunity. Pushing and pushing, working his tires a lot. You've got to think in the long term here, this is gonna hurt him.
Now be careful too before he knows that the leaders will be there in no time. They're only a couple cars behind.
You have the car of Connor Levy is way down in P12. He's behind these two by quite a bit. He started up in P2. Wonder if he got caught up in that first lap incident. Jason really battling hard here on Williams, just looking for a gap. Just unable to find one so far.
It looks like this is the closest battle we've got on track at the moment.
The leader is
trying
just
to hold off 76.
and the leader's closing quick as Ethan Johnson is just on the exit of 3 and 4 here as they enter of 1 and 2 as these two enter 3 and 4. It's only a matter of time before the leader gets there, and that'll shake it up right there as Wallet maybe. Oh, he's pushing that car so hard, using every inch on the outside of that corner. Looking for that second group. He's been going out there a little bit more often, and he's not losing as much time as we saw earlier. He takes a look on the inside of Andrew Williams, he'll shut the door.
Now Williams is just holding down that bottom line, forcing Wallet to go the long way around.
Really, and Wallet trying it again on the outside here. It's not been working for him. It's not going to work yet again.
He lost a lot of time off 3 and 4.
That's the worry, as the leaders are just crossing the line there. They're closing in quickly on this battle. Oh, he's got a
14 of Connor Levy just behind these two. I'm a little bit worried.
Oh, Stowecki has made it back past Ryan Whitlock here. He's taken P6 back. We saw that overtake earlier. Him overtake Comfort just a few laps ago. Now he's past the 81 of Whitlock, who has fallen back, maybe worked his tires a little too hard. See how he did it here. Oh, Whitlock getting into the wall. Heavy. He's got to have damage on the outside of that car as he was hard into the wall on the front straight. But
Yep, our racing's taking advantage of your opponent's mistakes. Whitlock made one right there, and Stawecki just went right through. Nice drive from Stawecki, by the way, going from second in the LCQ, and now he's on the back door of the top 5.
he's pushing all the way up to P6 now, starting this race in 14th, so he's working hard. Not many people able to find overtakes like he has been able to. He's really quick tonight. Wonder if he just made a couple of mistakes during his qualifying runs, which made him back in that LCQ. He is quick here tonight. Gonna be a big gap to close though, up to the the P5 car of Austin DeLong. It's about 5 seconds there, as Hogarth is gonna try and get out of their way as best as possible of these 3 in 2.
Doing a nice job staying high, letting these guys have their battle by themselves.
I always like to see that as the lap car getting out of the way when there's a battle happening. Realize what's happening. Know you're not in the position to hold these guys up. Change some of these guys' race.
Levy is at risk going a lap down here. Had a lot of pace, started up front, just
Connor Levy in
position. There he goes.
There he goes, letting the leader by. That's got to be rough for him to take, starting alongside Ethan Johnson at the start of this race, and now a lap down P12.
Does have some damage on that right side, though.
Definitely, he got caught up in that starting incident when we. Our only caution today is we are past the halfway point of this race now. I'm surprised we start to see some tire drop off from some of these guys who are pushing harder, working their tires a little too hard. Tire drop off has got to be coming in soon.
Yeah, we've seen a significant amount of drop off. Ethan Johnson, the leader, set his quickest lap on lap 4 at 27.76. His last lap, 21.729, almost a full second of drop off. That's only gonna increase as this race wears on.
Yeah, the tire wear, big factor here late in this race. Gonna see a lot of these gaps change, a lot of driving positions change here before the end of this race. We have 40 laps to go. Yeah, 6 laps 60 right now. And they are pushing hard here, this group. Comfer really pushing hard, trying to get past Ryan Whitlock here. Whitlock doing it, keeping it smooth, keeping it clean after his incident with the wall earlier. As these guys are starting to catch up onto Andrew Burrell now. It's, yeah, these guys catching up. Hopefully that lap traffic stays out of the way. They can make it through cleanly.
Well, the leader is caught up to this battle between Andrew Williams and Jason Wallet. I think he split the pair.
Yeah, and it's brought that battle to an end for now. Hunter Levy's kept caught up to these two now.
Yeah, I wonder if Levy will use this as an opportunity to get by the 76 and stay the first car off the lead lap.
Yeah, looking for that lucky dog position here, hoping that a caution comes out if he can get up to that spot, get back onto the lead lap and start his push back. Maybe he's saving his tires a little more than others as he's pushing hard now, wiggling out of these corners with that damage. Stawecki is working past this lap traffic here and really struggling to get past Burrell here. Is still unable to make it past Andrew Burrell. Oh, and we've got an incident on the front straight that looked to be the 20 of Hogarth into the wall down the front straight. Still green for now. We'll see. It looks like that's going to be, it's going to stay green.
the leader tagged him at first, and then the 76 got into him, pushed him to the inside wall.
Yeah, here we go. Here we've got a... Yeah, oh! Yeah, the leader getting caught up with the 23 and bunch of cars, too many cars, not enough space. There's the leaders trying to make it past. Wonder if Ethan Johnson has a little bit of damage from that incident, as he did make contact with Alexander Hogarth.
Yeah, they're all very lucky that wasn't a full-on crash.
Yeah, really getting out of it. Looks like he just got a little, the leader got a little high out of the corner, and Jason, just trying to avoid the incident, goes down and catches Hogarth, sends him into the wall. Seems like he is still running now, just lost a bunch of time. Oh no, he's in the pits. That's going to be his race done. He's unfortunate. That's going to be our first driver.
Wall.
Oh, now we've got another driver in the wall.
Man, Thomas Toomey is just really struggling up here in second place. He's caught up in this 3-car battle between lapped cars. He's gotten by Lovey, just needs to get by this 76 and the 23.
He's trying to get past the 76 here. Looks like he's going to get it done into this next corner.
All while he sees the 51 of Johnson disappear into the distance.
Yeah, there's lots of losing tons of time through here, getting caught up with this lap traffic. He was just under a second behind. Now he's over 2 seconds back. It's got to be frustrating, stuck behind this lap traffic for him, knowing that even Zachary DeWale behind is catching up to him quicker than he would like, as he's gonna try and make it past Andrew Williams here. Jason Wallet may be looking to follow him through, not gonna do it. Takes a look down the inside though here. He's just gonna back out of that move. Little too far back to make that one stick. As Thomas Toomey will look to put this lap traffic behind him. Take off into the sunset, trying to catch up to Ethan Johnson.
See if he can make his way back to that 51.
Pushing hard now. Not a lot of times. We have on lap 73 out of 100 here. Pushing almost 3/4 of the way through this race. Almost half the field now down a lap. Andrew Williams, the lucky dog right now.
Keeping decent pace at the 18 as well. Might be just following him, trying to mimic what he's doing through the corners.
Following the line of the quicker driver. Find where he's quicker and use that pace to his advantage.
He's having to show off his multitasking skills too. He's got to hold off that 76 and keep that lucky dog spot.
Yeah, it's a battle for lead lap position here. If a caution comes out, that lucky dog position is so crucial. Can change the course of your race. As we have 25 laps to go, we are 3/4 of the way through our race. Gotta think any driver still saving any bit of tires, gonna have to start pushing very soon, if not now. Leave it all out. You never want to end the race with extra tire life that you could have used.
I'm looking at this gap between the two leaders here. Johnson's holding steady at about 2.5 seconds. Does Toomey, have anything left in him to try to close that up? Will that traffic help him out? Looks like Johnson does have a couple cars to get by here off the exit of 2.
Yeah, he'll be dealing with some lap traffic as this battle between Comfort and Whitlock is back underway. As Stowecki has fallen off. Wonder if he got caught up in the wall, got a little loose out of the corner. He's fallen back behind these two. He was ahead of the 81 earlier.
Could just be tire wear. He was driving pretty hard earlier in the race.
He was pushing hard, and that very much so could be. So it doesn't look like he's got any damage on that car, so yeah, maybe just that tire wear coming in to effect. So the battle that's really been going on for the majority of this race is the 81, this 10, and earlier on Stoecki was a part of it, the 25. These guys have been right next to each other this entire race, just working each other hard, finding those mistakes, trying to find a spot where maybe stick a nose in.
Starting to catch up to the 22.
22, as Thomas Toomey's in the pits. Thomas
Oh.
Toomey has entered the pits. You gotta wonder what that's all about. Is he
Yeah, that's confusing.
gonna retire from this race?
Unless
I
they're
don't-
out of fuel. Might be a refueling stop. Because we got DeLong coming in as well. They'll be
Oh, I wonder if that's what it is. A couple of these guys banking on more cautions, needing fuel. So yeah, we've got, who's all that in the pits now? Got the 22 of Austin DeLong in the pits. This is going to put them a lap or two down here to take this pit stop, refuel.
Still
Stoecki,
out there.
one of these
Wonder
guys.
wonder if the pit cycle will play out. See if Toomey can put in some good laps coming off pit road. Ordinarily, this would be where new tires come into play, but obviously that's not the case tonight, so it's all about driver trying to make up time through the pit cycle.
Yeah, wonder if you can. Some of these drivers took a little less fuel at the start of this race, planning an earlier pit stop with a caution, or because with one caution to start this race off, we have been green ever since. So it would not surprise me if that has caught out a couple of drivers who maybe went lighter at the start, get that better launch, push a little harder. Thomas Toomey, yeah. We have now just 3 cars on the lead lap, because Ethan Johnson, Zachary Doyle, and Athena Leclerc are 3 lead lap cars. That's going to be a big battle, as we've got a bunch of cars 2 laps down now as well.
Yeah, Ethan Johnson just put Whitlock a lap down, so he's lapped up to 4th place. Only the top 3 are on the lead lap.
Oh, and the leader into the pits. Ethan Johnson into the pits. You gotta wonder, Zachary DeWale, if he's gonna make... No, he's not. He's gonna inherit the lead here as he finds his way through some of this lap
Toomey.
traffic.
Looks like Toomey's going to take the lead.
It's Zachary DeWale taking the lead here.
Yeah, but Toomey's going to take this lead once the pit cycle plays out. He's going to have a huge gap.
Yeah. Thomas Toomey.
Tires were enabled for this race. Let us know. Here he comes. Yeah, there he is. Now he takes the lead. Yeah,
There
they
he
had his
goes.
lap back, and now Thomas Toomey takes the lead. Or what will be the lead once everything plays out.
Thomas Toomey really heading first, and Athena Leclerc entering the pits here, as we've just got a couple of drivers left to pit here. Athena Leclerc, one of the last couple to enter the pit lane, refuel here late.
Yep, DeWale still holding strong as well. Not going to come in this time. How much does he have left?
So we're on lap 91 right now here. 91 of 100, less than 10 laps to go. This race ending quickly. Zachary trying to find his way past this 23 car of Andrew Williams, trying to put him a lap down. Andrew Williams has the right to fight for the position, and he's fighting hard, keeping Zach behind him, trying to stay on this lead lap. He's gonna fight as the 14 car is looking to enter the pits here. Zachary DeWale staying out Gotta wonder what his fuel load's looking like at this point. Into lap 92.
I'm just
And-
curious how Toomey got so far in front of Ethan Johnson off the pit cycle. I wonder. I mean, this race isn't part of the short track league.
Oh, and there he goes, Zachary Doyle into the pits now. Andrew Williams, the last one. Gotta wonder, yeah, if those tires were enabled by mistake. It's,
Johnson's closing back in on this 18 car, though.
we saw he's been quick all night. He's gonna be pushing real hard now if those do indeed have fresh tires. So they're just pushing up and pushing,
Yeah,
putting it
Doyle,
all
here
out
they
there.
come.
There he comes.
The leaders go by. Now Doyle looks like he'll settle back into what will be third.
So he didn't lose out too much there, Zachary Doyle. Not losing out too much here as everything gets sorted out. Yeah, he holds third position. Jason Wallet still up ahead. I wonder if Jason Wallet has maybe a little extra fuel. Hasn't pit yet. Andrew Williams as well. Our last two drivers sticking out there, staying out on the track. Maybe trying to make it to the end. We're on lap 96, just 4 laps to go. Maybe Andrew Williams and Jason Wallet finding a way to make it.
Where is he? Where's Thomas Toomey?
Toomey's just a second back now.
He's right there. This is going to come down to the wire.
This is going to be a hard defensive battle here. You've got to think as Toomey is taking tenths out of them each lap. He's got to take a couple more out.
Don't count out Ethan Johnson either. Ethan Johnson's right there. The lap traffic affecting the leaders.
Yeah, as they're catching a bunch of lap traffic here. The 17 getting in the way of Andrew Williams and Jason Wallet. He's going to keep pushing though as the gap's increasing. 18 of Thomas Toomey getting caught by this lap traffic as well.
It's going to move the lap car out of the way.
Yeah, they're running out of time. They are just...
Oh, Toomey's right there.
2 to go, coming to the white flag this time round. As looks like Andrew Williams, if he can defend from Jason Wallet here.
Really sending it in there, trying to get by the lap car, the number 17.
Thomas Toomey right up onto the bumper of Jason Wallet as we are on the final lap of this race here. Let's see if there's any last lap heroics. The lap car getting in the way.
The bottom.
Lap
Hold
car.
the bottom if you're Andrew Williams.
Andrew Williams defending the bumper to Jason Wallet again.
So close.
Pushing him
Oh
to the
my
line.
goodness. Oh, there's a wreck behind.
And the
At the
field
line.
wrecks behind.
Johnson climbing up on top of another car coming to the checkered flag. My
And
goodness.
Ethan Johnson, who looked to be locked in for the victory of this race early on, is not even on the podium to end this race.
That is crazy stuff, Jordan.
What a ridiculous ending to this race with those pit stops. Andrew Williams, Jason Wallet not coming in. And
Andrew Williams coming back from the accident on lap 1 with a torn up front end. He ends up winning the thing.
yeah, and Jason Wallet, who had the end of the line penalty to start this race, P2. Thomas Toomey finding the third and final podium position. What a wild, wild finish to this race. That's just crazy.
And this is going to be hard to follow a couple weeks from now, I got to tell you. Calm for most of the race, but then we get a barn burner of a finish.
Yeah, it's just all of the pit stops coming in at the end. Everyone realizing as soon as Thomas Toomey took his pit stop, hey, tires are enabled. Let's go for it. Try and make a late run push. And Andrew Williams and Jason Wallet decide to stay out, and it works. They take P1 and P2. what a wild finish for those two.
I love that. I think sign me up for more of that. That's what this series is going to be
Yeah.
like.
The series is going to run like that week in and week out. That's going to be a very, very interesting series to come.
Yep. And we're right back here at the same track, USA, in 2 weeks.
Yeah, right back here 2 weeks for our first official race of the season. And it's can't hope for a much better finish, can you?
No, I mean, we'll see if
three
we can pull it off.
3 cars coming within 0.3 of a second across the line, and got to think one more lap could have Thomas Toomey made it past not only Jason Wallet but Andrew Williams. He was so much quicker to end that race.
Yeah, the comers and goers really came into play there right at the end. Just Toomey didn't have quite enough time to get that lead back, but man, Williams and Wallet, strategy call of the day.
Yeah, coming from what looked like to be almost nothing race for them, just in the midfield, lap down, getting some practice in for next week into, hey, there's a chance to win this, to doing it, finding that opening, getting the victory. That's unbelievable finish for Andrew Williams.
Yeah, definitely a dream debut for Williams in the debut race of this new short track showdown.
And and for Jason Wallet, this has got to be a good sign for him. If this is his first season in the CiL, he's got to be very excited for what's to come. If that is what's in store for him coming up. I believe we've got some interviews coming up with our top 3 here. Doesn't seem like they're quite ready for us to start our interviews here. It's got to be Ethan Johnson, though. Devastation.
Yeah,
Leading.
Class of the field the whole race.
He was clear of the field for lap after lap. Started the race out, got the jump on everybody else, stayed clear of that first and only incident of the day, which is also so surprising. 1 incident for a short track race.
Yeah, it is overall really clean, but and I agree, you got to really feel for Ethan Johnson. Just dominates the whole race, runs it really clean, then the pit strategy doesn't work out at the end, and that really is the gamble of staying out at the end of those long runs. If you can get new tires on the pit cycle, you're going to give up a lot of time to the guys who come in first.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, guys, not to interrupt, but I think we have our top 3 finishers ready to interview, and I think we're going to be hearing from Thomas Toomey first. See if we can get a hold of him. We might not be able to get him. There might be some technical difficulties getting down to the radios in the cars, but we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get that worked out. Matthew, how do you feel about the finish of that race? Wow.
I mean, you can't expect to see that happen. The 2 guys who were out on lap 1, or what it looked like they'd be, they were out on lap 1, come back at the end of the race. They don't have to pit for fuel while everybody else does, and they pretty much bump and bang to the line, and it's just absolutely fantastic to watch. And we'll see if we can get Thomas Toomey in here now. Thomas, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. Thomas, that was a very, very exciting race. It was a bit of a slow one in the middle, but at the end it definitely crescendoed to a fantastic finish where you were the first to come to pit road for fuel. Were you expecting to go green the entire way and you didn't come in for fuel?
Yeah, I noticed in practice that we had about 89 laps of fuel, so since I started at the front, didn't really have an option to save, so I just kind of pushed hard until I felt like my tires were overheating.
Yeah, just such a tire race. How did you save those tires throughout the race? Just I know that's such a big part of this short track racing. Coming in early, how did you think that you would have caught them with an extra lap?
I think we had the pace. I think Ethan was coming really hard. I don't know what happened during his pit stop because he had a big gap on me. I definitely overfueled there at the end, and I definitely killed my tires also. I think I finished with 37 on the right front. So I bought this car about 30 minutes before the race, but I really enjoy it. It's a really fun car to race wheel to wheel in.
Yeah, it was definitely an amazing race for you, but I think you are an alumni, so unfortunately you won't be able to compete in the regular series. But even with that, incredible showing. Who do you think are going to be the guys to watch out for as the regular series kicks off in a couple weeks?
Definitely the man who was leading me for most of the race, Ethan Johnson, looks very quick, and he was getting even faster as everyone was starting to overheat and overwear their tires at the end.
Yeah, well, Thomas, you put on a very exciting race at the end. We saw you try to make a little bit of a bump and run there on Wallet in front of you in that last turn. But before we send you on your way tonight, is there anybody you want to thank or shout out on the broadcast this evening?
I want to shout out to you guys for putting on an amazing series and branching out into something new. This car looks really enjoyable to race, and I'm curious to follow along this season.
Well, Thomas, thank you very much. Congratulations on your third place finish. I know you were looking for a bit more, but we hope to see you in the booth again sometime soon.
Thanks. Take care, guys.
Once again, that was Thomas Toomey out of the University of Virginia. He finished in third place tonight. Spent most of the race in the second before pit stops came unexpectedly at the end. But I think now it's about time we hear from our second place finisher here, Jason Wallet from Drexel University. See if we can get him up in the booth. Hey, Jason, can you hear us up in the booth?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Well, Jason, congratulations on the second place finish after lap one. I don't think you or any of us in the booth were expecting you to finish up where you were in the end. But did you know right after that that first caution that you were gonna have to be saving fuel pretty hard to make it to the end?
I'd actually practiced for this race a while in advance, and I have virtual racing school, which this, among other things, offers telemetry, which means I knew we were gonna have to. I knew the 17 gallons wasn't going to be enough, so when the caution came, I just figured I'd pit, fill up my tank, and go on from there.
Well, it certainly worked out for you getting a second place finish. After that first lap incident, what exactly were you doing to just try to manage and get to the end? And did you foresee such a great result as you had tonight, since you lost all that track position at first?
After restart, I just kind of raced as usual, just moving up the field until I met Andrew, and we kind of fought for the next, 70-odd laps. Man went to hard defense, honestly.
Yeah, you were battling Andrew Williams for the majority of that race. Any expectations coming into this race? Did you think that a podium was possible after that first lap incident?
I wasn't sure what to expect, honestly.
Yeah, well, Jason, it was definitely a race of the unexpected at the end there. I don't think any of us in the booth were expecting pit stops to happen. I think a very clean race for the entire field tonight. But before you go and celebrate your second place finish tonight, is there anybody you want to thank or shout out on the broadcast this evening who makes it possible for you?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mom and Dad and everyone else who helped me get all the gear I use for sim racing, and thank Drexel Esports for the individual sponsorship program that allowed me to race for them.
Well, Jason, I think Drexel's going to be very happy that you put it up on the podium in the first CiL Short Track Showdown race ever, the inaugural season. So we hope to see more from you this season, and good luck and have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah, and once again, that was Jason Wallet from Drexel University. His CIL debut finishes on the podium, so you can't ask for much more than that, but what you can ask for is maybe one more spot. But I think that person who got that top spot will be joining us here in a moment. That'll be Andrew Williams out of University of Clemson. Let's see if you can get up here in just a moment. Andrew Williams, congratulations. Can you hear us?
Yep.
Well, what a fantastic race. You had probably one of the most mangled up cars in the field, and you take it from last to first by the end of the race. Were you saving fuel at all that entire stint, knowing that you were going to have to get to the end, or were you just going as hard as you could?
I drove this car like I drive the Cup car every week, is that I babied it every single lap. I babied the fuel, I babied the tires. I had a lot more tire than everyone left at the end, and evidently I had a lot more gas. I thought I was going to have to pit. I think the extra half gallon I pumped while I was repairing after the first caution helped, but I ended the race with a couple gallons of spare. And yeah, just conservative driving got me through a unexpected fuel mileage race.
Yeah, unexpected indeed. You catching that win at the end. How do you feel after that victory?
I mean, I have never Mickey Moused myself into a win in this league, so it's a weird one to win. Didn't think I was going to be competitive in the short track, so super happy to pick up a win here. Hoping that momentum will carry over into a points paying race.
Yeah, congratulations, Andrew, on a great win. Great strategy call there at the end. You battled with the 76 of Jason Wallet almost the whole race. What were you doing to try to keep him behind you? And did you anticipate that would be the difference between winning and losing?
I had no idea that was going to make the difference between a win and a loss. I thought we were battling for P10 the whole race, and didn't realize that was the battle for the lead for 70 laps. I was just focused on keeping him behind because I was not quick enough to catch the people in front of me, and I was quicker than everyone behind. It was just me and him in a little bubble, so I had fun battling him. He showed a lot of respect. Never shoved me too far up into the fence. He gave me the bumper a couple times, which is totally expected. And yeah, just kept my sights on keeping him behind me for as long as possible.
Well, Andrew, it definitely was a very exciting race to watch up here in the booth, and even though you have way too many manufacturers on your car, is there anybody you want to thank or shout out on the broadcast this evening before you head out on your way?
Of course, I want to thank Clemson Esports and Orangeville Racing for giving me yet another car to race every week, and giving me what I need to get out there and keep turning laps day in, day out.
Well, Andrew, congratulations once again on this inaugural CIL Short Track Showdown win. You're going to have to hold that one close to your heart, but congratulations and take it easy tonight.
Yeah, you too.
That was Andrew Williams from Clemson University, repping the late model with the Mustang, Corvette, and Ferrari logo on it. A bit of an abomination to some, but it definitely, maybe that extra horsepower from the random logos gave him the speed to win tonight. But Jordan, Andrew, what a fantastic race to kick off the first ever CIL Short Track Showdown. Say that 3 times fast. Series. Were you guys satisfied? What did you guys think of that in the end?
I don't know how you can't be unsatisfied after that race. That was just an incredible finish, completely unexpected. The P10 and P11 drivers coming through in the last 10-15 laps because of pit stops. The fuel was there. They made it work. They took the gamble. Just an incredible race. It's going to be hard to beat that in a couple of weeks when we get our season really underway in our first points paying race.
Yeah, I thought it was really calm throughout, a lot of respectful racing, and then it kind of just got crazy at the end. And who would have thought that a lap 1 accident would have essentially determined who won the race? I mean, I think we kind of nailed the length of it, to be honest, because we're just a little bit longer than a full fuel run. So I think that's going to make things really interesting as we come down to the end of these races. I can't wait for the next one. It's at USA, same place, so might see a replay.
Yeah, you got to think a lot of drivers taking strategy from this race into the next race coming up in a couple of weeks here, thinking about how the fuel came into it. Maybe a couple of racers starting with a little less fuel to start the race, pitting earlier, and getting a better run in our first points paying race here in a couple of weeks.
And I found it pretty crazy how Toomey and Johnson really made their way back to the top two right at the end of the race. It almost made me wonder if tires were enabled, even though it seems like they weren't. But I guess that either shows their skill or their ability, the value of cooling tires on the pit cycle, and probably both.
Yeah, those two were incredibly quick all night, and especially at the end of the race when they were both unleashed, neither of them having to hold anything back, knowing the race end is around the corner. So use all the fuel you got, use all of the tires left, push as hard as you can, and you really saw their true pace at the end, and they were quick. They were catching fast. It just a lap, maybe two for Ethan Johnson to make his way back up to the front of that. But it's a 100-lap race, not 101, not 102, so it's a wild finish for him.
I think you saw the aggression come out from Ethan Johnson there at the end, just trying to make up those spots to get back to the front. He moved a couple of lap cars out of the way, so I wonder if you see more of that as we get on to the season.
Yeah, definitely some of that also possibly being frustration coming in after leading so many laps and then pitting, and then now you're behind not only the guy who's behind you in second, but two other cars that were a lap down when you entered the pits. So it wouldn't surprise me if you got a little frustration bleeding into his racing there and trying to get those lap cars past, trying to get up to the front a little too quick.
Yeah, that's all. That's for sure. I think there's definitely a little bit of chaos at the end there. Like, I think people realized the laps were winding down, and there was no point in keeping that chrome horn clean anymore. I think we saw a bit more bumping and pushing at the end there. But it's going to be a great CIL season. If this is the start of it, you can only go up. As next week, the CIL Season 7 kicks off officially with our CIL Cup season on Monday night at 9 p.m. The CIL Cup heads to Daytona for 100 laps around the high banks of Daytona. Don't miss out on that one. It's going to be a fun one to watch. CIL Cup Series every Monday night at 9 p.m. Starting next Tuesday, you can't miss out on our Formula C series. The best collegiate iRacers take on open wheel racing every other Tuesday night at 9 p.m. And if you're looking for more short track showdown action like you saw tonight, be sure to tune in 2 weeks' time for the official season opener here at USA International. Tonight, just a clash. Next time, there'll be points on the line for a season championship. So be sure not to miss out on that one, as I think for everyone here at the CIL, myself, Matthew Nordberg, Jordan, and Andrew up here in the booth, we want to thank you for tuning in tonight. We hope for you to tune in to another CIL broadcast coming soon. So once again, thank you and have a good evening.